So in the last video you saw I had this portion of the player mechanism apart and was cleaning the valves, and I put the player mechanism all back together and tested it out, and I still had quite a few keys that were pressing down even when the notes for the holes for those keys were covered over by the paper on the tracker bar here. And I could never get it to ever find a place where it would rewind it back to the beginning here. You see, at the beginning of the song, you can put this in play and run it forward a little bit and hold it, and you can hold the roll tight on the tracker bar. And in this position, you see that where the tracker bar is at, all the holes are blocked. I shouldn't have had any notes play at all. And I still had notes playing. So you can see I'm using the shop vac here to provide wind power for the stack. It comes up, there's a nipple on the bottom side of this block, and it comes into here, and then this is the stack with all the valves and the pouches. And each one of these holes connects to a hole in the tracker bar and connects to one of the pouches. And in taking a piece of paper, taking the music roll off and taking a piece of paper and running it across the tracker bar, there were a lot of notes that I could never get to release and press back down as the hole was covered and uncovered. I should be able to do that. Even with all the holes open, I should be able to take a piece of paper and run across there and make the notes release and then go back down as the hole was covered and uncovered. Could never get it to do that using the tracker bar. So I took that part back off, and I have this, and I powered up my wind supply again. And if I hold the paper on here, and it takes both hands to do this, but hold the paper here and run it across, as those holes are blocked up, those keys rise back up, and then as they're unblocked, they drop back down. And all of the keys did that. So I know that all of my valves and all my pouches are working, and that I have a leak somewhere between here and the holes on the tracker bar. So there's two possible places where it could leak. It's this gasket right here. Actually, there's three. It could be the gasket right here leaking, this joint. It could be where these tubes go into the piece of wood here. And it could be where the tubes go into the tracker bar. That's the third location. My money is probably going to be on these right here. I bet if I was to look at some of these, I bet some of those would be leaky. If I pressurized those up and did some testing, I bet I would probably have some leaks. Although I wouldn't be surprised if I had a little bit of a gasket problem too. That'd be worth checking out. But if I turn the shop back on, it's going to be a little noisy here to talk. You see almost all the keys pressed down. Okay, pull the hose out. Okay, so if I take the piece of paper here and run it across, you can see that every note there I can make play. As the paper runs across. Get it in view here where you can see as it runs across. See, every hole that's covered up, the hammers are resting, and I can make every one of them go back to the resting spot. All my valves are in good working order. I'm going to turn this damn thing back off. All of my valves are in good working order because I can close a hole off and make the piano, it go back to the rest position, and when the hole's uncovered, it strikes the string and is held in the, that's how these operate. Is anytime the hole is uncovered on the tracker bar is the same as the key being pressed down, and when the hole is covered is the same as the key being released. So I'm able to do that, and so this all in here, this is all functioning. So my problem is, in order to get the mechanism to play, my problem is up in here somewhere. And a lot of people, whenever they work on one of these, they automatically just go ahead and get rid of all the lead tubing and go ahead and insert a brass nipple in each of these holes and run it up and run a rubber tube between here and there. I'm not sure I'm interested in doing that. I want to do a little bit of investigating here to find out exactly where the leak is at, if it's where the metal tubes seal into the wood, or if it's up here. If it's up here, I'm probably just going to go ahead and replace all these with rubber hoses. It takes about 100 foot of rubber hose to do one of these. If it's down here, I might be able to seal this up with some varnish or some lacquer or something else. It's interesting, I noticed that these tubes all have, looks like almost like electric motor varnish on them to keep them all cemented in place. So that's where I am at currently. So we are almost to a working piano, and where I can use the vacuum cleaner there to make it actually play. And once I know that's working, then I'll fix the foot pumps. They just really need cleaned up, and there's a corner here that needs repaired. There's a tear in this corner up here, and that's repairable. As long as the leather check valves are in good shape, I won't have to mess with recovering this at this particular point in time. Eventually I will want to, but for now I just want to get it playing. So I am very, very close. And as I said, I've tested the air motor with the shop vac, and the air motor works. It's pretty neat to watch run. But I've got to do a little bit of testing now to figure out where my leak is at. If it's in this tubing somewhere, the tubing in the tracker bar, or this gasket. And I'm sure there's some tests I can do to determine that. So that's what I have yet to do. So I will make up another video to check in with you all to let you know what I found out. So this is Oklahoma Bridges here. Thank you for watching.